G'day mates, Keg11 here and welcome to the 1997 Canadian Grand Prix, coming to you from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. Now, this, as some of you may or may not know, this track was named after a former Ferrari driver and originally Canada's most successful driver, Gilles Villeneuve, who raced for 5 years between 77 and 82, but in that time he won 6 races, 13 podiums, 2 pole positions, 8 fastest laps, and second in the 1979 Formula 1 World Championship, losing only out to his Ferrari teammate, Jody Scheckter of South Africa. Villeneuve was killed in the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix after he ran into the back of Jochen Mass while he was qualifying, and the car somersaulted into the air. Villeneuve died after his life support system was turned off soon after. Although this was sad in one respect, he did leave a big legacy in the form of his son, Jacques, as we all see from this year. Jacques is making a big name for himself in Formula 1, and in real life, he would become the most successful Canadian driver, winning the 1997 World Championship in only his second year of Formula 1. And Villeneuve will race for quite a few years yet, so Gilles, we salute you, my friend. Now, this track was originally called the Circuit Île Notre Dame, because based on the island Notre Dame in Montreal, Canada, and was renamed Circuit Gilles Villeneuve several months after Gilles' death. And despite that, this track has turned into quite a favourite track on the Formula 1 calendar. I personally like it, although looking at the track and driving it and the close quarters, it reminds me a lot of Monaco, which may cause some good or bad emotions in some people, but other than that, it's a really good track. I definitely recommend you drive it in any game you play. Right. The 1997 race, again, we're having another driver change. This time, it is 5th place driver Gerhard Berger. Now, Berger has had a combination of cat to the flu, his sinuses were blocked and everything, but more importantly, Gerhard's father had passed away in a plane crash in between this and the previous round in Spain, so he wasn't able to race. He was replaced for this round by another Austrian by the name of Alexander Wurz. This will be his first race in Formula 1 and would, in real life, go on to replace Berger after 97 and have a not too bad career, including being one of the inaugural drivers of Red Bull Racing back, I think, 2005. So, good beginnings there. In the real race itself, first, the pole position on the grid was taken up by Michael Schumacher. Second place would have been Jacques Villeneuve. And third place, quite unusually, Rubens Barrichello. Particularly if you look at where Jan Magnussen qualified, 21st. So, this has the potential for an interesting race, and it did. Partly because Jacques Villeneuve crashed on the second corner at the Quebec Wall after the final corner. These days it's known as the Wall of Champions for an unrelated incident, which I will get to once we get up to that point. But apart from that, the main story from this race was the horrific crash suffered by Olivier Panis in his Prost. He would lose it coming out of approaching corner 7 just before the end of the first sector, clipping the inside wall and then veering straight inside and crashing almost head on into the tyre barrier, breaking both his legs. As a result of this accident, the race was red flagged with only about 10 or so laps remaining, and we'll see Panis out of racing for 7 rounds. And some skeptics would say that this crash will ultimately have a bad effect on Panis' performance. He would be retiring this year or next year. So, very unfortunate. As a result of that, Michael Schumacher did win the race, followed by Jean Alesi in second, and Giancarlo Fisichella gets his first ever podium in third place. So hopefully we won't have any problems with this race. Although if Panis does not get a point scoring position, I will enforce this incident / absence from Formula 1 for the next few rounds in the spirit of continuity. Anyway, in our driver standings, we have Jacques Villeneuve in the lead with 41 points, but he is threatened for that position by Michael Schumacher after his 2 wins in Monaco and Spain. Michael Schumacher is within 10 points of Villeneuve. And this doesn't help by the fact that Villeneuve scored only 1 point in Monaco and no points in Spain. So Villeneuve needs to pick up this game and bend history a little if he wants to stay in the lead. Following behind Schumacher in 3rd place is Eddie Irvine on 19 points. So a bit of drift on Michael Schumacher, but still room to catch up. And following in 4th place is the only other driver after Schumacher to score every round of the season is Jean Alesi. He would score 2nd place in Spain, his best result of the season, and see him 2 points adrift of Eddie Irvine and keeping Benetton's championship hopes alive. In 5th place, we've got Gerhard Berger on 12 points, but we don't see him, for reasons stated before, scoring any more points. So, depending on how Frentzen goes, or whoever goes, Berger may fall down even further. Speaking of Frentzen follows on behind in 6th place with 8 points. And then we've got a 3-way battle between Prost, Jordan, and Stewart. We've got Olivier Panis and Kent Levin drawing for 7th on 6 points. And then we have a 3-way battle between the 2 Jordans, Fisichella and Ralf Schumacher, and my teammate Rubens Barrichello, all on 4 points. And if we have a look at the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari is now in the lead of the 1997 Formula 1 World Constructors' Championship after scoring 12 points in Spain in comparison to Williams' 1. So they lead Williams by 1 point. So if Williams can redeem itself in this round, we might as well see them on top again. But we shall see. Benetton is on behind and the nearest challenger to Ferrari and Williams with 29 points. 20 points adrift, but there is room to come back. I am confident about that. And then outside that, we've got the second battle pack with Stuart Ford just hanging on to 4th place on 10 points after their excellent showing in Monaco. And then followed by Prost, Mugen Honda on 9 points and Jordan Peugeot on 8 points. The only other point scorer at this point is McLaren Mercedes, with David Coulthard's 6th place in Australia scoring 1 point, but they have been struggling throughout the rest of the season, despite some good qualifying positions here and there, which I was confident that they were going to pick up their game and start moving up the pack. The other teams have yet to leave the mark, and although I have thought that maybe Sauber or maybe even Tyrrell may score a point before the end of the year. So with that, let's have a look at where everyone will be starting for today's race. Okay, in first position we have Michael Schumacher with a 17.538, and in second place Jacques Villeneuve, back to form. Good to see him go well on his home track. Following behind we have Frentzen, Alesi, Alexander Wirtz in his first race with Benetton. Good job there. Then it was Häkkinen's in 7th, Fisichella's in 8th, Schumacher's 9th, and Olivier Panis in the Prost is 10th. His teammate Nakano starts 12th, and Gianni Morbidelli is 14th next to his teammate. Not too bad result for Sauber. Stewart, 121.021. Not too bad. Would have been slower than me by about 2 seconds. However, no result. And there was actually a good reason for that. As I was going out on my flying lap, normally I start maybe a little bit earlier than people, just to get a feel for the track and know how to better my times. But coming past the Casino hairpin at the far end of the track and coming down the back straight, I had a fuel line failure. So therefore, I had a non-result. Normally, I wouldn't be allowed to race under the 107% rule. However, after an appeal to the stewards, they changed their minds and allowed me to race, because based on my practice times, which were running in the 119.050 something, so it's about 2 seconds slower than a Schumacher, they deemed that my performance was able to be on par with the rest of the competition. So I'm not being a slowpoke. But even still, being allowed to race is one thing, but coming through the pack to get where I should be is going to be another, because as it is with first lap, first corners, it is going to be hell. So let's see if we can actually do that and go well in this Canadian Grand Prix. Hopefully I can redeem myself.
Well, we're nearly ready for the start.
Oh wow, that is very close. I have to be very careful how I start. This is not going to go well. How did I guess?
Oh my word! Let's put him down.
Obviously, I'm not very experienced in trying to start from a low position and pass too many people. Happened to me in San Marino, same thing happened to me here.
He forces his way through. He's hit truly.
I think that was legit. Oh, we're up to 19th, not bad. Now coming in the back straight. This is about where my engine failed on me in qualifying.
That's two. He's got past.
Bit of a freeze in the game, but not to worry. Oh, almost got on the dirt there. 15th place in 1.5 laps.
Eddie Irvine. Williams number one. John Alesi. If I just have a glance at their lap times, he's lapping slower than the leader.
Yes, I may be lapping slower, but hey, not that I care. I've already gone up 7 positions. This is really good.
That's powerful acceleration there.
Looks like nothing's changed further up. Bye-bye, Tyrrell.
That's three now. The car in front will be getting worried after that lap time.
Now we go first, Prost, Panis, and Nakano. Hopefully, Panis won't have another disaster here like he did in the real life. Or me, for that matter.
He's definitely gaining.
Going on the outside again. Oh, three abreast!
He's hit Nakano.
And Nakano has failed to take Panis. But hopefully if I can get him past the hairpin, I should be able to pass Nakano as I head into the final chicane.
He's dropping back a bit. Shinji Nakano. In 14th place, Jan Magnussen. In 15th place, Jos Verstappen.
I'm still behind the cross. Oh no!
He's hit Nakano. He's being warned of unsportsmanlike conduct with that.
Not
car.
really.
The
He
gap
slowed
is
down
growing.
abruptly. Normally you just slam the gas through there. Oh shoot!
Incredible.
Oh my
Spectacular
God.
overtaking there.
Excuse me for that, but that was close. I was trying to pass both Prosts on the outside. Little did I know, a car had blown his engine right in front of me. That could have gone south very quickly. A very big disaster, and they would have had to red flag this race. But I'm in 10th, and it's not even halfway through. Oh man. Talk about lap of the gods.
Tyre wear is getting bad. Come into the pits.
Half of this Grand Prix is behind the drivers now. Half still to go.
Behind
Race
me.
order. Eddie Irvine. Michael Schumacher. Williams number 1.
Not sure.
Jean Alesi. The gap is growing.
I was so coming out of that. I think it was one of the McLarens behind me. And it looks like it might go for an overtake. I got to concentrate on the road because that could have been a collision, and I was prepared to pass, but he had slowed down.
He's losing ground.
Eddie Irvine, fastest lap, 1:20.504. Not too bad. Kyushu is in the lead though. I think. No, Michael Schumacher's in the lead, followed by John Lacey, Alex Verts, Fisichella, and Eddie Irvine, at least.
Tyre covers are off and they're getting ready to receive.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Box, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Precision from the pit.
5.7 because of traffic light in Brazil.
Which means that you're
But
right lead and have something of a time advantage over the other car.
I should be able to catch up quite well. There goes one of the arrows.
Damon Hill's managed to get past.
Hill to be exact. Only one of the McLarens. Oh, Villeneuve is in 6th. Not too bad for his own crowd. He's dropped back though. Thinking about it. Well, too much grass there and almost slid out. Rubens Barrichello is behind me by 2 seconds. Can I catch Hill? No, oh, he's back.
Okay, let's see how the drivers are doing lower down here. In 7th place,
On the
Olivier
outside.
Panis. In 8th place, Williams number 1. 9th, Nicolas Larini.
Morbidelli is 9th. Oh, almost scraped the back of that McLaren there.
He's overtaken Hakkinen.
Oh, Hakkinen, not bad. Who's behind me? Hakkinen. He obviously must have hit the last lap.
He's
Careful.
gone past.
No one.
He's closing the gap in front.
Oh, careful. Full throttle through there like a boss.
And the gap is closing.
Like a boss. Not suitable for this channel? Irvine still has the fastest lap.
He's closing the gap.
Oh, that was very good through that. I wonder who's next. I think it's one of the pros. Again.
Race order. Michael Schumacher, Jean Alesi, Giancarlo Fisichella, Eddie Irvine.
That was too far low. I went second gear through that. And now I've lost whoever's ahead of me. Pattis is up to 6th. Good job. So that means Nakano's ahead of me.
As he crosses the line, only 3 more laps left. Yes! That lap will certainly help him catch the car in front.
Oh, Johnny Herbert Sauber.
Really good lap times now.
Lap 7, remember that. I got a feeling that was the fastest.
He's definitely gaining.
No, it wasn't the fastest, but it was not too bad. Oh, it looks like I got Herbert. I should have a good run coming into the hairpin. We're neck and neck! Heartbreak!
Let's see how he's trying.
Oh no.
He's actually up on the leader's time.
I must have slowed down too much and he had enough speed to cut me off, but I should be able to get him again. Don't come too far wide. Yes! 10th place. Thank you, Herbert. Looking at there, how many laps I got left and who's ahead of me. Maybe can get one more position before the end of
We're
the
into
race.
the second to last lap. That lap will certainly help him catch the car in front.
Well, Schumacher's Jordan. Okay. So it wasn't a Prost. I wonder what happened to Nakano.
Let's have a look at the race order lower down. 10th, Jan Magnussen. 11th, Johnny Herbert. In 12th place, Mika Hakkinen.
He's back. 2 abreast. I'm not going to dare pass that.
He's right at his tail.
Close, but no cigar. And it looks like I'm not going to get him up here. Oh, they're going to attack. Obviously, that was a better move because I'm right on Schumacher's tail.
And it's the last lap of the race. Excellent. The car in front will be getting worried after that lap time. The gap is increasing.
There goes the Jordan and the second Sauber. Woo!
He's managed to slip past. Race order. Michael Schumacher.
Oh.
Jean Alesi. Giancarlo Fisichella. Eddie Irvine. It's a win Michael Schumacher. The Tifosi will be absolutely ecstatic with this result for Ferrari. Second, Jean Alesi. In third place, Giancarlo.
If damage was on, that would have been out,
Tyres are getting
me out
warm.
straight away.
Ready to pit in.
But that was a very legal pass. He just ran
Your
to the back.
tyres are getting worn. Get ready to pit in. Fuel's getting low. Get ready to come in.
What's next? My wings falling off?
Way up through the gearbox. Jan
Eighth
Magnussen.
place.
He's
At
had
the
a
end of
good
a very satisfying race, I came up from 22nd to 8th. Although that last contact on my backside, I'm not sure who that was. I can only imagine it was Morbidelli in the Sauber. But would that have ended in me retiring? Most likely. But nothing was a result of that, so I'm going to let it slide. Or should I? Well, it doesn't really matter anyway, because I scored 8, so I didn't score any points. So after I finish this video, I'm going to have a chat to myself about the circumstances of that crash and determine whether I will wreck or not and DNF, things like that. Anyway, looking at the results, we have Michael Schumacher in his 3rd race in a row, so he's going to be extending his extend Ferrari's championship lead, but now looking that Villeneuve is nowhere to be seen, Schumacher is officially the leader of the Formula 1 World Championship. This has potential to change history. I'm not sure what happened to Villeneuve or Fisichella. Frentzen, sorry. But maybe it was one of the cars that wrecked. Don't know. Anyway, in 2nd place we got Jean Alesi. Again, very good job. 6 seconds adrift, or 7 seconds adrift of Michael Schumacher. And in 3rd place, Giancarlo Fisichella. So he's replicated his own in real life and scoring his first ever podium on this race. And in 4th place we have Eddie Irvine, that with 14.5 seconds adrift of Michael Schumacher, so he's definitely giving Schumacher the support he needs and distancing Ferrari away from Williams. And then following from him is Alexander Wirtz, 5th place in his debut, so congratulations to Wirtz there. Hopefully we can see him in the points more often. And in 6th place is Olivier Panis, so that means he's not going to be out of action for several races as it was in real life. However, the situation with his driver change will be replicated next year. And following behind in 8th place, we've got Kent Levin. So I can only think maybe one of the McLarens got ahead of me because I only saw one of them. But I think that was a really good run. Unfortunately, though, I didn't get the fastest lap as I so thought. That belongs to Eddie Irvine. And in the Drivers' Championship, we have Michael Schumacher drawing with Villeneuve for the lead. So Michael Schumacher hasn't technically gone past. Villeneuve is still in the lead because of the more championship wins. Plus, he was already up there when it happened. But this just goes to show that Ferrari are definite title contenders and Williams are starting to drop the ball. I'll be very interested to see how this will end up. I really hope, as a Williams fan, that they come back, and for continuity's sake. The other big news is that Jean Alesi has regained 3rd spot in the championship after his 2nd place, and he's only a point ahead of Irvine on this standing. So congratulations to Alesi for that. And Irvine, I think he can be satisfied with that. He's not terribly fast, so he can regain 3rd spot whenever he can. Plus, he's helping Ferrari pull out a good lead in the World Constructors' Championship. Following behind those, we had Gerhard Berger still hanging on to 5th place on 12 points, although he's not too far ahead of Untitled Chapter, who failed to score as well, but also Giancarlo Fisichella. His 3rd place in this race has moved him up to draw in 6th with Untitled Chapter, and pushing Jordan ahead of Prost and Stewart in the World Constructor Championship. So obviously Jordan is winning in that lot. And congratulations to Fisher Keller on that as well. Following behind them, we have Olivier Panis on 7 points, so he's broken away from Kent Levin. He's still stuck on 6 points. And following behind them, rounding out the top 10, is Rubens Barrichello in the second Stewart and Ralph Schumacher in the second Jordan. The other point scorer for this round, Alexander Wirtz, he is in 13th place behind Nakano. And in the Constructors' Championship, as I said, Ferrari have extended their lead over the Constructors' Championship by now 14 points. So they're starting to feel quite relaxed at the moment. Williams is in second place with 49 points, but that puts them, because they failed the score, only 12 points ahead of Benetton Renault. So, they, as I said numerous times before, they need to pick up that game if they do not want to be overtaken by Benetton, considering that they're the world champions, for goodness sake. Following behind them, Jordan Peugeot moves up to 4th, thanks to, as I said, Fisher Kahler's success in this round. And following behind Jordan in the stands, we have Stewart and Prost, both now drawing 5th place after Panis's 1 point. So, Stewart needs to get a few more points if they want to stay in this pack. And following behind them, typically, is McLaren Mercedes on 1 point. So there we have it for this race. Overall, the way I raced, both time-wise and passing, wasn't too bad. But like I said before, I'll have to investigate the footage, that and several other incidents, to see if I should count myself in the race or consider myself retiring. Either way, I'm not going to get any points anyway. I hope you guys all enjoyed the race, and I'll see you guys in the next round in France.